This is a video just outlining my betting strategy for the TJ Dillashaw versus John Lineker fight. If you're not interested in betting this fight at all, you might want to close down the video. Or if you are willing to be tempted for me to persuade you into betting the fight how I'm about to, keep listening and tune in. So we got the number one ranked TJ Dillashaw coming up against the number two John Lineker. TJ Dillashaw is quite a heavy favorite here. He's actually a minus 225 favorite, and the return on John Lineker is plus 185. These two guys, they both have a pretty high finishing rate. KO is obviously their method of choice, especially for John Lineker. John Lineker is always headhunting out there. He's always he's fairly flat-footed, but he's always just stalking down his prey, trying to get in there. TJ Dillashaw, one thing we've seen with him, his most recent development in his game has been training with Dwayne Bang Ludwig. His striking is on point, and his movement's really on point too. It's almost like they tried to kind of emulate. It's like a knockoff version of what Tom Cruise does, but he's good at getting in and out. He's also going to have a significant height advantage, not so much on the reach, but the reach being even favors TJ Dillashaw more because of the way he fights and the way he gets in and out and picks his shots. It's also going to be very confusing for John Lineker to really understand TJ Dillashaw's timing. His timing is going to be tough to predict. But one shot from John Lineker does have the potential to change the complexion of a fight and potentially end it. But how I see this fight going is I think it's going to be a TJ Dillashaw decision, and I think it's going to be him working on the outside. I don't think John Lineker is going to be put away. His chin is granted. He took so many flush head kicks from John Dodson and didn't even flinch. So that leaves me to believe that if TJ Dillashaw does win this, it goes to decision. Yes, he might be able to score the takedown here and there, but I don't think he'll be able to keep it there for too long because John Lineker is a really powerful guy and can get back up to his feet pretty well. But how I would bet this fight. First of all, if anyone's looking to bet on the under on this fight, which I wouldn't particularly suggest, but if you are going to look at it, you might as well get more value and just bet on John Lineker. Yes, TJ Dillashaw can win inside the distance. It could happen. I just don't see it happening. But why not get yourself an extra point, 0.4 units or whatever, or $40, $4, whatever your units are. You get that extra 40 on there, and for the person who's most likely to end it in under 2.5 rounds. So yeah, that's how I bet that. But this is how I'm betting it. I'm not gonna bet on TJ Dillashaw here. He's the value is not that great, and the only way I see him winning this is by decision. So in order to get a little bit of insurance and in order to increase my value, I'm going to bet the over in this matchup. So I have 3 units on it right now. Granted, that could be 3 units I piss away. Anything can happen in a fight. Hands of Stone could end this abruptly, but I do see TJ's movement being the difference here. And I just don't see TJ Dillashaw being able to put John Lineker away. So I get more money for that. And you might ask, well, why don't you just bet on the TJ Dillashaw decision? You'll get way better value there, and et cetera, et cetera. And you know what? I might look at it. The line isn't out for that yet, but the line is out for this. And let's say John Lineker KOs him in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I get more insurance there. If TJ Dillashaw gets a KO or a submission in the last 2 minutes and 30 seconds. Although I don't see that, I get that little bit of insurance. Also, this covers me if John Lineker wins the decision, or if the judges are, not watching the fight and it's a clear TJ Dillashaw win, but they give it to John Lineker. If there's a split decision, or if TJ Dillashaw, the most likely outcome of the match, gets that decision. So that's how I see the fight going, and that's how I'm going to play it, and that's how I have played it. I put 3 units on the decision, on the over 2.5 to be exact, instead of putting it on Dillashaw. And if you are going to bet the under and you are really confident one of these guys is going to lay each other out, Yeah, you could bet the under, but I'd just put my money on John Lineker because he's the only person that I can really see ending it in the first 2.5 rounds. But yeah, my final prediction is my final bet is going to be over 2.5 rounds at minus 165. I put 3 units on it. I think it's a really good bet. You can follow me at the MMA Prophet on Twitter. Like and subscribe if you like this video. If you find it informative, comment. Let me know what you think of what I've said, whether you think it's sound logic. And I'll try and come out with more videos in the future of my betting logic in certain instances. But this one was a cool one for me, and I thought it would be cool to outline how I would bet this one specifically. There's lots of fights on this card that are pretty close to call. So that's one area that I can see some people capitalizing on. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed.